Hello and welcome to this, I believe, final presentation here at XPRO and IFA. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, XPRO, for having me. My name is Moritz. I'm here with the Agency for Digitalization by the city of Berlin, or by the state of Berlin, rather. And it's been an amazing event, lots of interesting presentations here. To be honest, quite a couple of tough acts to follow. This presentation is going to be maybe a little bit more on the dry side. However, I hope that you will find it interesting nonetheless. It's been really an amazing week here with the newest technology and gadgets on display. And to round it off, I would like to be giving you a brief overview over the state of digitalization in Berlin and what the city is doing to improve the economy and support businesses in modernizing and staying competitive. I will be also introducing the DAB and outlining what we do to help businesses with digitalizing. So first off, let's look at the bigger picture for a second. Berlin has a very strong tech sector, that's not really a secret. And that is also supplemented by a world-leading startup scene. We are home to some of the most cutting-edge industries out there. For example, we have a strong artificial intelligence community, we have an excellent virtual reality community, and as you've been able to witness here, we have fintech, biotech, health tech. Berlin has produced a number of unicorn businesses. And I only learned this recently, we also have a world-leading CGI industry. So chances are, if you've seen a Hollywood movie, it was actually more of a Berlin movie, maybe. However, if you live in Germany, or maybe you've just visited or conducted business here, you probably know that Germany isn't always the land of milk and honey when it comes to digitalization. Berlin's economy is made up of mostly small and medium enterprises. And before I'm being misquoted here, that's a very good thing. But it also comes with its own set of challenges, and we're going to explore that in a second. And so when it comes to some other European countries and cities, I think it's probably uncontroversial to say that there are certain deficits that exist. The most obvious example would be paying by card. A few years ago, it was not that common for shops and restaurants to accept card. The pandemic admittedly has changed a lot of that, and we have seen a drastic increase of card payments here in Berlin, but this is probably one of the most shining examples that you've probably come across. The other side of things is when dealing with public administration, but also businesses, we still like to do a lot of things on paper. This is still a reality today, even though we are making huge steps to improve that. But in Germany, we love paper, and that's not a euphemism for money, unfortunately. Now, Berlin has been steadily growing as a global tech hub. Tech is the fastest growing sector in Berlin, with economic growth in this sector being 3 times as high as on average. In 2021. 120,000 people are employed in tech, and Berlin is also becoming one of the major cities when it comes to startups. 500 were founded last year alone, and the startup sector employs over 80,000 people at the moment. A growing number of unicorn startups, as previously mentioned, and other success stories started here. Chances are you've already used a product that was developed here in Berlin, perhaps even without knowing it. There are a number of reasons why Berlin has managed to position itself as a major tech hub. But the ones I want to single out right now is the strong higher education sector. We have some of Germany's best universities here, as well as a large student population, over 100,000 students, as well as 20,000 researchers and professors. Universities also provide a vital support network for young founders and startups as well. Finally, Berlin has an excellent labor force, which is also due to the high number of well-trained and educated foreign nationals. Berlin attracts people from all over the world for a variety of reasons that I think I don't need to list all of them, but the case in point, if you search for the definition of gravitate in a dictionary, the example you will be given is young Western Europeans will gravitate to Berlin. Enough said. So let's look at some of Berlin's economy for a second, especially the small and medium enterprises. Berlin's economic profile is overwhelmingly dominated by SMEs. As you can see here, about 89% of businesses have less than 10 employees. These are the so-called micro enterprises. And if you combine those with the small enterprises, which have between 10 and 50 employees, you're already encompassing 97% of the Berlin economy. If you add medium enterprises to that, so SMEs, there you arrive at 99.6% of the economy. So SMEs really are the backbone of Berlin. And even though we all sort of know that SMEs are the backbone of many Western economies, and it's important to grasp the scale of this distribution. And for us, a number of consequences come to mind. How many of those companies with 100, 200 employees or more are going to have a dedicated IT department? Probably most of them. But how does that number develop as you go down in size? What about the micro enterprises? Do they even have a single dedicated IT person? Or is it the founder, the owner, the CEO in charge that has to not only run the business, but also run digitalization projects, secure the funding, and make sure the projects go ahead? Quick look at the industries in Berlin. These numbers will differ based on which definition or which source you look at. However, the overall picture is pretty clear and probably not very surprising. Berlin, like many other cities, has features a strong service sector, as well as a strong retail, gastronomy, and tourism sector. Obviously, tourism being a major economic force in Berlin. Again, this is not very surprising. Same with entertainment and arts. No surprises there. So just mostly regular city stuff: health, education, social services, construction. Manufacturing is maybe worth singling out here, which doesn't play as much of a role in Berlin as it does in the rest of Germany, which is, of course, famous for its manufacturing. Mostly for historic reasons, we don't have as strong of a manufacturing sector, which is not to say that we don't have one at all. But we're going to be looking at the cluster initiative by Berlin and Brandenburg. The city of Berlin has identified, together with the state of Brandenburg, 5 key industries and created a cluster initiative for each industry. And the goal is to make Berlin a global leader in every 5 of those sectors. These are, pardon me, there we go. So we have a strong health sector with over 200,000 employees, almost 15,000 companies, and that doesn't just include hospitals and doctors, but also a strong bio and health tech sector, as well as leading research centers for medicine. We have great tech sectors, as I've already mentioned, but also media and creative industries. So anything from film, TV, books, journalism, music, advertisement, but also games development, and of course, virtual reality are strongly represented in Berlin. We have mobility and logistics as a major employer in the city. and also the energy sector, which not only provides the city with energy, but is also researching how to make energy more sustainable in the future. Furthermore, the city offers a wide range of support structures for businesses. There are a wide range of state-funded organizations, like we are, for example, the DAB, but there are also hundreds, if not thousands, of informal business networks and associations. Some of these organizations we've partnered with that you can see here on the screen, but this list is far from exclusive. We partner with these institutions and organizations and networks in order to be better able to reach businesses and connect them with one another. Berlin also features an excellent startup ecosystem. So not only do we have lots of startups, but there's also a number of support structures for these startups that range from accelerators, incubators, business angels, trade associations, specialized fairs, support groups for founders, as well as financial help from both state actors and private actors. Obviously, we have some of the best tech fairs in the world. Obviously, here at IFA we are. But there's many, many more. Some of them, you may have heard of them. This is just a very small selection. There's the DGUT, which is a very good fair for founders. The Hub Berlin Smart Country Convention for the digitalization of administration, and many, many more. Here's one initiative that I want to single out at this stage, which is the Zukunftsorte. I guess this translates to places of the future. And the message is that this is the places where the future is going to get invented or created. And the concept is that you have SMEs, startups, science and research centers, all basically agglomerated in the same spot for specific sectors or industries, and this is supposed to create this synergetic effect to really create centers of excellence in these specific fields. Furthermore, this is revitalizing many old areas. A famous example is the two old airports of Berlin, Tegel and Tempelhof, which have both been turned into a Zukunftsort. And you can see there at the bottom what is planned for the airport of Tegel, which will house plenty of businesses, a university, as well as regular accommodation and living quarters. But the nice thing about this is also that it's really spread out across all parts of Berlin. So we're creating incentives for all parts of Berlin to become more economically viable. So this was the good. Now we need to look at the pain points a little bit, because obviously not all is always well, especially when it comes to digitalization, computers, etc. This is a little poll that was, I believe, done in 2020, where business owners were asked what their sort of challenges were when it came to investing in digitalization. And for the most part, it was actually the cost or the investment required to actually modernize processes or products. 51% of business owners claimed this to be the case. 41% said that the complexity alone of changing processes and systems was already a significant hurdle to digitalizing. 35% said that there was a lack of time to actually go through the projects, which leads us back to our initial point, where business owners are the sole responsible person for digitalization and therefore do not have the time to see the project through. Almost a third fear security risks. So it's not a secret that there's a lot of security risks, new security risks that are associated with digitalization. Training is another problem. Once you introduce a new technology, a new system, digitalized processes, you need to be training your employees so they can use it efficiently. Some were also scared of being too dependent of a single external provider. And finally, some also said that they were worried about uncertainties concerning the regulatory requirements, so anything required by law, for example, GDPR, but also other laws. And this is where we come in. So the Digitalagentur Berlin, or the Agency for Digitalization, DAB, is the central point of contact for all matters of digitalization in Berlin. We want to encourage Berlin businesses to digitalize so they can develop their fullest potential. We cover important topics such as IT security, but also a wide range of topics in different sectors in an objective and comprehensible manner. We want to help businesses find not just a solution, but the right solution for their needs. And it's also important to us that we promote IT security. We also want to be providing a point of contact between the economy, businesses, and the administration, and we always have an open ear for business owners who want to tell us what's on their mind. In addition to that, we want to be complementing the existing offers and formats that already exist, because there are already a lot of support structures in Berlin that surround digitalization, and we are here to guide you through that, help you find the right one, and if it doesn't exist, we jump in to fill the niche. And finally, we just want to be providing a network for companies where business owners can share their experiences and help each other. So these are our offers. We inform about state funding and grants. So there are obviously many programs in Germany, either at the city level, at the federal government level, or at the European Union level even, that support businesses, in particular of digitalization, and we are there to support you to find the right program for your needs. IT security can be a very daunting topic for many, especially if you're just getting started. It seems difficult to even grasp where to begin, and we are here to inform you where to begin, and we help you on this journey to make your business not only digital, but also secure. And finally, as I've mentioned, we offer a wide range of formats. That number is always increasing. We have only been founded in 2020 and are slowly building up our portfolio. But on our website, you can find all the formats we already offer, and there's many, many more to come in the coming years. Our values, we want to be focusing on innovation, expertise, and change. We want to build trust with business owners and our partners. We don't just want to digitalize for the sake of digitalization, but also to try and find the right solution and not just do it for the sake of digitalization. Finally, we hope to cooperate with many like-minded organizations, institutions, and we already have a very strong network of the most important partners around the topic of digitalization in Berlin. On our website, you can find a comprehensive guide to all the funding that exists around digitalization. One particular one, if you are a Berlin-based business, that I want to single out at this stage is the Digitalprämie, which has just started about 3 weeks ago. We've had the second round And this is really a great funding program that allows you to fund any digitalization project that you may envisage. And finally, I am pleased to be introducing the cyber hotline for Berlin businesses. For the first time in the English language, we have presented it before, yeah, one in three firms in Germany experience a cyber attack, and especially for small and medium enterprises, this can be a devastating event and even pose an existential threat. So the cyber hotline serves as your first point of contact in case that you have been victim of a cyber attack. We have a team of specialized employees that will tell you what to do, that is in contact with specialized IT service providers, and also will connect you to the relevant authorities, i.e. the police. And then finally, we also offer a variety of different resources that help you improve your IT security. You can find all of that on our website, so please do have a look. Of course, we hope that you never need this hotline, but it's better to have it than not. And with that, I'm already at the end of this presentation. Thank you very much for listening. In case of any questions, you find my contact details on this slide, and we would be delighted to help you in your digitalization quest. Thank you very much.